Chapter 679. Alright. Feng Ruqing responded with a smile. Sponsored content. When Feng Ruqing's eyes met Nanxian, it was as if everyone around them had disappeared. Both Feng Ruqing and Nanxian could only see each other in their eyes. Eldest young master, Zhu Ming's was still sneering. However, he seemed extremely helpless and lonely, standing in the wind. Seeing their leader falling into such a sorry state, the people in green robes were terrified. They fell on their knees and kowtowed. Eldest young master, please spare our lives. We will never do it again. It's all because of the second elder. He has instructed us to do this as he knows that you want to give paramount to this lady. Sponsored content. Hearing this, Zhu Ming's eyes turned cold. Go back and check who in paramount had leaked information about Xiao Qing'e. Zhu Ming commanded Feng Lan, who had just reached and was currently standing behind Zhu Ming. At your command, young master. Feng Lan cupped her fist respectfully. These people, take them back to paramount, break their feet and bring them to my second uncle. The corner of Zhu Ming's lips curved into a smile. Zhu Ming emphasized the words second uncle. His wicked tone had chilled everyone's heart. Sponsored content. All they wanted was nothing but paramount. However, they had actually laid their hands on Feng Ruqing. They had gone too far. Xiao Qing'e, this is all because of paramount. I owe you an explanation. Zhu Ming turned to walk slowly toward Feng Ruqing. His eyes were full of regrets. I am giving you a chance. Nanxian's put his arm around Feng Ruqing's waist as he raised his cold eyes. Zhu Ming broke into a smile. He knew what Nanxian meant. Nanxian was giving Zhu Ming a chance to avenge Feng Ruqing. If Zhu Ming failed, Nanxian would do it instead. Don't worry. I will straighten it out. After all, if you don't treat her well in the future, I will take her away from you. If I can't protect her now, how will I be able to do so in the future? Sponsored content. Hearing this, Suyi's face darkened. She slowly walked forward and stopped Zhu Ming from looking at Feng Ruqing. There is no need. Nanxian would never let Zhu Ming do that, neither would Suyi. Zhu Ming laughed derisively. He walked closer to Feng Ruqing before he stopped. Xiao Qing'e, we are partners. Hence, I will never let anyone threaten or hurt you. Don't let anyone hurt you. No one in this world can hurt you. I wouldn't hurt myself. Neither would Nanxian. Feng Ruqing held onto Nanxian's arm as she smiled. Although Feng Ruqing loved Nanxian, she did not lose her senses. Moreover, Nanxian would never fail her. Keep your words. Only then you can provide herbal dishes to paramount. Zhu Ming merely laughed and said no more. He walked away and disappeared into the distance. Zhu Ming's laughter was desolate. Feng Ruqing could feel a sense of loneliness watching his back. What happened to Zhu Ming? Something is wrong with him today. Slightly startled, Feng Ruqing turned her head. Nanxian did not say anything. He knew that Zhu Ming had fallen for Feng Ruqing. Zhu Ming had purposely emphasized their partnership as he wanted to hide his feelings toward Feng Ruqing. Perhaps, he did not want Feng Ruqing to feel bad. Chapter 680. Qing'e, let's go. He will be able to handle it well. Nanxian glanced in the direction where Zhu Ming had left. Sponsored content. As Zhu Ming was in love with Feng Ruqing, Nanxian knew that Zhu Ming would be able to handle the matters in paramount. If Zhu Ming failed, Nanxian would settle it instead. No one could remain safe and sound after hurting Qing'e. In Tian Shan Manor. Sponsored content. Out on the heavenly street was an ancient yet imposing manor, Tian Shan Manor. Different from the other forces, Tian Shan Manor was like a small realm on its own. In other words, Tian Shan Manor was like a kingdom. There were various clans within the manor. Jiyu Manor was the manor master with the loftiest power, not unlike the imperial court of a kingdom. Oh, dear. You are finally at home. In Jiyu Manor, a stunning middle-aged man walked out the main hall in a spasm of rapture. He strode toward Jiyu, who was still walking very slowly. As Jiyu was too overweight, she was panting heavily even as she walked. Her face was covered in sweat. Oh dear, look at you. You have lost weight. That must be very hard for you. Oh yeah, why do you return home so soon? Did you meet Nanxian? Ji Yusha quickly rushed over to help Ji Yue, his eyes filled with anxiety. Sponsored content. I think I forgot about it. Ji Yue's face stiffened. What had she done? She had returned home without looking for Nanxian? That's fine. You could meet him when he is back at Tianshan Manor. Ji Yusha did not want his daughter to go through the struggles again. Oh yeah, where is the lady and Kui? Ji Yusha glanced behind Ji Yue as he asked. Hearing this, Ji Yue burned with rage. Before she could complain about Kui, a lady in her 40s rushed in from the courtyard. Sponsored content. You are finally home. I have missed you so much. I told you before, you shouldn't go out as it is a great challenge for you, but you had insisted on wanting to meet Nanxian. You could just get Kui to bring him back. Zheng Fenghua fell to the ground right before Ji Yue and reached out to hold her hands. However, Ji Yue shook Zheng Fenghua's hand off, her face cold and nonchalant. Brother-in-law, what has actually happened? Yi would never have done this before. Zheng Fenghua's face stiffened. She turned to look at Ji Yusha. That's enough. Yi is worn out after going out for so long. Naturally, she is not in a good mood. Stop bugging her. Ji Yusha knitted his brows together, discontentedly. Zheng Fenghua's face darkened, but she quickly regained her composure. She turned to look at Ji Yue with a bright smile on her face. Yi, where is Kuya? Why is she not back with you? And Kui is such a fake. She has nearly gotten me into trouble and pushed all the responsibilities to someone else. Fortunately, I am smart and did not fall into her trap. Ji Yue merely snorted. That's impossible, Zheng Fenghua said, shrilly. However, she quickly lowered her voice when she noticed that Ji Yusha was staring discontentedly at her. Kuya is so kind and gentle. She has always been treating you well. It's impossible that she would do this. Is there any misunderstanding between you and Kuya? Zheng Fenghua forced a smile. Ji Yue's face darkened a few shades. She had always thought that Kui was true to her. If not for the incident on that day, she would never have found out that Kui hid a foul heart beneath her fair face. Chapter 681. It seemed that Ji Yusha was the only one who truly cared for Ji Yue. Sponsored content. Oh yeah, the lady, Feng Ruching. Father, Aunt has been staying with us for such a long time, when is she moving out? I don't want to see both Aunt and Kui again, Ji Yue snarled. She did not even spare a glance at Zheng Fenghua. She is your mother's sister after all. Now that your mother has passed away, they are the only kin you have in this world. I don't care, I want them to move out of here. If they stay, I will move out. Both of them and I will never stay together. Ji Yue's face turned vicious. Perhaps Kui had truly broken Ji Yue's heart. Sponsored content. Burning with rage, Ji Yue glared at Zheng Fenghua. This time, not only was Zheng Fenghua stunned, Ji Yusha was equally surprised. Ji Yusha quickly rushed over to stop Ji Yue from leaving. His face was ghastly pale. Oh dear, you are my daughter. Where you want to go if you leave here? If someone must leave, they should leave instead. I will get them out of here. I am old enough. Don't frighten me so much. I can't cope with too much anxiety. Sponsored content. Brother-in-law? Zheng Fenghua's eyes widened in shock as she turned to look at Ji Yusha. She could not believe the things that she had just heard. Your husband dumped you for you had an affair with someone else. However, as you are my sister-in-law, I couldn't sit back and do nothing. Hence, I had allowed you and Kui to stay in Jiyu Manor. Kui was just a newborn baby back then. I have let both of you stay here for so long, I have done my best to help. Ji Yusha's face was cold and ruthless. Brother-in-law. Zheng Fenghua flew into a great panic. She took a step forward and kneeled down before Ji Yusha. Her eyes were flooded with tears. She looked extremely pathetic. Brother-in-law, don't ignore me and Kuya. What can we do after leaving Jiyu Manor? Moreover, Kuya has reached the age of marriage. If you throw us out of the manor, what would the people out there say about us? Sponsored content. As Zheng Fenghua was Ji Yusha's sister-in-law, she had managed to come by plenty of money and valuables all these years as the people out there had always wanted to keep in with Jiyu Manor. Now that Zheng Fenghua had lost the shelter of Jiyu Manor, who on earth would care for both of them? Perhaps, even the Mu family would call off the arranged marriage with Encui. All of a sudden, Zheng Fenghua turned to look at Jiyu as if something crossed her mind. Jiyu must have known that the Mu family is taking Kuya as Nanxian's concubine. As Kuya was extremely gorgeous, Jiyu was afraid that Nanxian would fall for Kuya. Hence, she is throwing us out of the manor so no one can share young Master Nanxian's affections. She is truly vicious. However, Jiyu should know it herself that she is as fat as a pig. If she was not the manor lady of Jiyu Manor, Nanxian would never even spare a glance at her. Only a fair lady like Kuya is a perfect match for young Master Nanxian. Father, look at her. She is still staring at me. Jiyu tugged at Jiyusha's sleeve. Jiyusha glanced at Zheng Fenghua. Stunned, Zheng Fenghua's face stiffened. Brother-in-law, I didn't. I truly don't know what Kuya had done that is treating us like this. Will never make trouble out of nothing. If she doesn't want both of you to stay, then the two of you must have done something wrong. I am giving you a day to pack and move out of here. Jiyusha's face was cold and indifferent. Moreover, she could never make a breakthrough as all her meridians had been blocked by the fat. Nonsense. I will get you some spirit herbs that will prolong your life. Even if you cannot reach immortality through cultivation, you can do so through spirit herbs. Jiyusha's face darkened a few shades. Speaking of spirit herbs, Jiyu recalled the reason why she had returned to Jiyu Manor. Father, give me all the spirit herbs, be it grade 5 or grade 6. Jiyu's eyes lit up. What you want to do with the spirit herbs? I can give you grade 5 spirit herbs. However, grade 6, Jiyusha said, startled. I want to lose weight. It's fine if you can't give me grade 6 spirit herbs. Give me the rest of them. I know you have collected plenty of them. Hearing this, Jiyusha was dumbfounded. Chapter 683. His daughter was here to claim his property. Sponsored content also, give me all your weapons and treasures. Oh yeah, the painting in your room looks nice, give it to me too, and your bed. I want all of them. It was said that the painting was painted by the 9th emperor thousands of years ago. Jiyusha had spent a lot of money buying the painting from someone else. As Jiyu did not like books or paintings, she could not remember it well. As for the bed, Jiyusha had stolen it from a great master's grave. It was said that one could enhance his strength even when he was asleep on that bed. Jiyu was thrilled with joy. She heard that Feng Ruqing was associated with Paramount. Perhaps, if she gave all these things to Paramount, she was actually giving them to Feng Ruqing. Father, what other treasures do you have? I have seen the pretty lady servants you took in a few days ago. I want to give them to, sponsored content. You can take all my spirit herbs and paintings. Why would you want to take my bed away? Where should I sleep then? That is not all, you actually want to take away my servants too? Jiyusha's face darkened. At this very moment, Jiyu's eyes fell on the storage bag hanging on Jiyusha's waist. Seeing Jiyu's eyes glued onto his storage bag, Jiyusha quickly covered the storage bag with his hands. Oh dear, there's nothing in my storage bag. Jiyusha did not know what had actually happened to his own daughter as she was not interested in any of his treasures before. Oh, get the things that I have mentioned ready. I am leaving in a while. Jiyu dropped her eyes disappointedly as she pouted. You just got home. Where do you want to go? Are you looking for Nanxian? Jiyusha's stunning face changed. Sponsored content. No, I am looking for a lady. Jiyu broke into a brilliant smile. Although she was overweight, her smile was dazzling. Seeing Jiyu who could never hide the joy in her eyes, Jiyusha grew more and more worried. She is looking for a lady instead of Nanxian? All this while, had never befriended any other woman as she was afraid that the people out there would compare her against the woman standing next to her and naturally, she would be completely defeated. Hence, there was not even a female servant serving her. Encui was the only woman who could get close to her. However, Jiyusha knew that Jiyu did not like Encui. She accepted both Encui and Zheng Fenghua because of her late mother. Sponsored content E. Tell me more about the lady that you are looking for. She is pretty and kind. Gue turned her head and pondered for a while. That was the first impression she had about Feng Ruching. She was a devastatingly stunning beauty. She is even prettier than Qin Feiya from the Qin family, Gue added. Qin Feiya was the prettiest lady Gue had ever met. However, Qin Feiya was no match for Feng Ruching. Stunned, Jiyusha lost his balance and had nearly fallen on his knees. E made a friend with a lady, who's prettier than Qin Feiya? Just as Jiyusha wanted to ask further, Zheng Fenghua, who was standing nearby, interjected. You have made a friend with such a pretty lady. Aren't you afraid that she has approached you with bad intentions? There are many evil people out there. Only Kuya is true to you and treats you like her own sister. Zheng Fenghua smirked, her eyes were filled with disdain. Chapter 684. A cheating daughter. 2. As Gue was an obese lady, naturally, the lady who had befriended her must have known that Gue was actually Jiyusha's daughter or Nanxian's betrothed. Even a fool would know why the lady had approached Gue. She wanted to get close to Nanxian through Gue. Gue was such a fool that she had actually let a beauty get close to her. Why are you still here? Father, I don't want her to know our secret. Gue's face darkened a few shades. Jiyusha was overjoyed, hearing the word secret. His cold gaze swept past Zheng Fenghua, his voice was cold and tranquil like water. Get out of here now. Otherwise, I will throw you out of here. That would be much more embarrassing. You will regret the things that you have done. Zheng Fenghua clenched her fists tightly, she glared Jiyusha's face, viciously. Zheng Fenghua had fallen for Jiyusha when she was younger. Jiyusha was enchantingly handsome with heroic bearing back then. Furthermore, he was powerful. There were, no doubt, many ladies would have fallen in love with him. It was a twist of fate that Jiyusha had fallen for her sister instead, whereas Zheng Fenghua got married to a man who lived far away. Now, Zheng Fenghua was no longer young and she had lost all her feelings toward Jiyusha. Hence, the only thing that she wanted now was to live a comfortable life relying on the strong foothold of Jiyu Manor. What was so wrong with that? Someday, both Jiyusha and Jiyu would have to pay for the things that they had done. As soon as Zheng Fenghua finished her words, she stuck her nose up in the air and walked out. She did not look like she was just banished from the manor. Father, I need 2 secret guards from you. Thinking of the people who wanted to kill Feng Ruching, Gue had a dull feeling tugging at her heart. I have asked you to take some secret guards along with you the last time when you left the manor, but you had refused. This time, Jiyusha did not refuse and merely smiled. I refused back then only because I had trusted Encui so much. She told me that Nanxian might not be happy if I brought many people along with me. Moreover, her strength was not inferior, she could protect me in the secular world. As for the reclusive world, no one dares to hurt me so long as I mention your name. A fiery rage crept across Gue's face. She gritted her teeth as if she wanted to eat human flesh. Apparently, Encui was lying. It did not work when the people from the reclusive world laid their hands on her. They wanted to hurt you. Jiyusha narrowed his eyes that were filled with murderous intent. Me for extra chapters. I don't know who they are. However, the leader is a dark warrior. As there isn't any dark warrior in the secular world, she must be someone from the reclusive world. Oh yeah, Xiao Qing is part of the secular world. That had actually laid their hands on her. Most importantly, Gue had mentioned his father's name and none of them cared about that. They had even said that, oh yeah, they had even said that you are nothing. Who do you think you are to get involved with matters related to their second elder? They had even said that I am ugly and wanted to take my life. Boom. A sudden outburst of an overwhelming force came out of Jiyusha. Exploding with rage, his eyes were full of evilness. However, he quickly retracted the force as he was afraid that he would frighten his daughter. He said gently, I will look into this. They have truly disregarded the rules and bullied my daughter. If I know who did this, I will not let them off so easily. A hint of murderous intent flashed in Jiyusha's eyes. Don't let every single one of them off. Gue broke into a smile. Then, she went into the manor to pack her stuff. Giusha's bed, paintings, and antiques. Gue had taken everything, including the tree at the courtyard, and put all of them into her storage bag before sneaking out of Gu Manor. Chapter 685 On the Heavenly Street. Sponsored content. With a bright smile on her face, Qin Feiya was walking extremely slow and careful with the help of a servant, Liu Xia. However, she looked better than she was before. Simply no one knew that it was because she was constantly basking in the sun for the past few days, or she was happy with the arranged marriage with the Mu family. Young lady, it seems that the Mu family still cares for you. Otherwise, they would not have tasked someone to send the bride price over. I think young Master Nanxian would be back soon. Seeing Qin Feiya was in high spirits, Liu Xia could not help but feel happy for her. Since the Mu family had sent the bride price over, young Master Nanxian would return to the Mu family soon. Qin Feiya said, bashfully. At this moment, a delicate face flashed through her mind. She could not help but sigh softly. Sponsored content. How about Chenna? Master has been feeding him with herbs every day. I think he can provide you with fresh blood soon. That's not what I mean. Well, forget it. After all, the Qin family owes him too much. Her beautiful face turned bitter. Chenna was the only person Qin Feiya felt sorry for. Young lady, I heard that the Mu family is taking the fat lady of Jiu Manor as Nanxian's first wife. That's total nonsense. I believe young Master Nanxian is not a tasteless person. He will definitely pick you. Liu Xia could not bear seeing Qin Feiya's sad face. Her eyes widened before she spoke. Liu Xia. Qin Feiya furrowed her brows together. She did not want Liu Xia to say this in public. Sponsored content. I am just telling the truth. Moreover, there are many ladies swarm and swoon around him. Why would he fall for her? What Liu Xia meant was the Mu family had selected many ladies to be Nanxian's wife and concubines. It was natural for a young master to have multiple wives. Although Nanxian had not returned to the Mu family, all the marriages were arranged by Nanxian's father. Nanxian would never reject the things that his father do. Just as Qin Feiya wanted to stop Liu Xia from speaking further, a snarl of rage was heard. Qin Feiya could feel that the earth was shaking. She raised her head slowly only to see an obese lady rushing her way with her furious face. Sponsored content. What did you just say? There are many ladies around Nanxian? Gu's voice was trembling with rage. Why has the Mu family never told me about this? Manor Lady Gu, my servant has made a mistake. Please forgive her. Seeing this, Qin Fei's face changed. She quickly held on to Liu Xia as she looked at Gue with guilt. Are there a lot of ladies around Nanxian? Gue threw her shoulders back and her chest out as she walked toward Liu Xia. Yes. Also, young lady is. Liu Xia was stunned by Gu's words. However, when she thought of Qin Feiya's status, her heart was broken. She gritted her teeth as she spoke through her teeth. Liu Xia, do you want to put the Qin family into trouble? Surprised, Qin Feiya slapped Liu Xia across her face. Her voice was quivering. Liu Xia had finally come to her senses. Falling on her knees, her body was shaking violently. A flicker of fear crossed her eyes. Seeing the servant kneeling down on the ground, anger trickled out of Gue and composure took its place. However, her chest was still heaving. The Mu family has lied to me. Nanxian is such a pervert. Since there are so many ladies around him, why is he marrying me then? I must call off the marriage with him when I slim down. Chapter 686. The lady, Tang Yin, is right. All the men in this world are nothing but pigs. A bunch of liars. I will never believe in men anymore. Sponsored content. Gue took out a big trotter, took a big bite of it like she was biting into the flesh of the despicable men. Then, she turned to leave without sparing a glance at Qin Feiya and Liu Xia. Only when Gue disappeared into the distance, Liu Xia's body slumped to the ground. Tears broke free from her eyes. Young lady, what should we do now? Qin Feiya quickly looked around, Her eyes were full of panic. Only when she realized that no one was around that she sighed in relief. Don't tell anyone about this when you get back. It was Liu Xia's fault. Qin Fei must not let anyone know that the Mu family wanted to call off the marriage. Otherwise, the Qin family would get into trouble. Sponsored content in Deity's Gate. Deity's Gate was on par with the Divine Herbs sect and Tianshan Manor. The atmosphere in Deity's Gate was particularly tense. Everyone was sitting stiffly in the main hall. They looked cold and imposing. Right before everyone in the hall lay a middle-aged man, groaning. He was brutally beaten, his face was swollen with bruises all over it. Blood could be seen oozing from his nose. "Father, please avenge me. This rascal has laid his hand on me. Also, brother, please control your son. He has actually done this to me." Ju Yu's face was contorted in pain as he glared at the man in a violet robe, resentfully. Sponsored content with a wicked smile on his face, the eyes of the man in the violet robe were full of viciousness. He raised his eyes gently, a lightning-shaped mark shining with evilness could be seen at the corner of his brow. "Minga, what have you done? He is your uncle. How could you do this?" Ju Yuan's frowned as he said discontentedly. "Uncle?" The men shot Ju Yuan a wicked stare as he smirked. "Who wanted to kill me when I was little?" When he was little, his strength was not as powerful as it was now. If not for Nailin Yang, he would have died. Sponsored content. He has laid his hand on a weak lady of the secular world in order to get paramount. He has disregarded the rules. Everyone on the spot was dumbfounded. Ju Yu has laid his hand on someone from the secular world? Nonsense. I didn't. Exploding with rage, Ju Yu held onto his head as he glared at Ju Ming with his eyes wide opened. He would never admit it. "Minga," Ju Yuan paused for a while. "Is there any misunderstanding between the two of you? Your second uncle will not do this." Ju Ming's lips were still curved into a sneer. "That is my so-called father, an incapable and irresponsible man, who dares not find out the person who wanted to kill his own son and murdered his late wife. Moreover, your cousin's strength is not inferior. Why don't you give paramount to him? You would be free from all hassles after this." Ju Yuan heaved a soft sigh. He did not want too many conflicts within the clan. If giving paramount to Deity's Gate would resolve their grievances, it was a fair deal. However, seeing Ju Ming's cold and evil gaze, the last few words were trapped in his throat. He simply could not say them out loud. "Paramount is not mine. It has not belonged to me since the very beginning." Ju Ming sneered. "What did you just say?" Ju Yu snarled as he got up. "Do you truly think I have no idea that you have fallen for a lady of the secular world and want to give her paramount? You are the one who has built paramount and you are part of Deity's Gate. As I am the heir of Deity's Gate, naturally, paramount is also mine." Chapter 687. This rascal, Ju Ming, has actually built such a powerful force, paramount. If I don't stop him, his strength would grow stronger and stronger. It would become a great threat. Sponsored content. Moreover, Paramount had collected plenty of spirit herbs. As the old master had not passed down the power to Ju Yu, he had long-eyed Paramount's spirit herbs. If he owned Paramount, naturally, he would also own all the spirit herbs. If the old master had not known that Ju Yu wanted to kill Ju Ming back then and had warned him that he must not kill the people of the same clan, he would have usurped Paramount. After all, even if Ju Yu failed, Ju Ming would still give Paramount away. Ju Ming was staring daggers at the old master who did not say a word. Sponsored content. Do you agree with him? Minga, Paramount is yours. Deity's Gate doesn't need Paramount to keep a strong foothold. However, since it embodies your painstaking effort, it belongs to you. You should never give it to anyone else. The old master merely frowned. In other words, Paramount belonged to Ju Ming. Deity's Gate was not interested in the spirit herbs that Paramount owned. However, if Ju Ming truly wanted to give it away and his second uncle wanted to usurp it, the old master would never stop him. No one could take anything belonged to Deity's Gate, even if Deity's Gate did not need it. It is a pity that no one can touch my belongings. It's a shame that not only is your son good for nothing, He also has bad taste. How could he become the master of Deity's Gate? Zhu Ming reached out to lift Zhu Yu from the ground. Zhu Yu could not even defeat Zhu Ming. If you had not refused to be the master of Deity's Gate, do you think I would have made him the heir? The old master narrowed his eyes. Sponsored content. Even though Zhu Yu was ruthless, he could at least get things done. On the contrary, Zhu Yuan was so chicken-hearted and had accomplished nothing. I want to take him with me, Zhu Ming said. A bone-chilling aura was emitted out of him. Minga, can't you just humor your uncle? He is your elder. Zhu Yuan's face changed. Zhu Ming walked toward Zhu Yuan slowly. The ice-cold aura surrounding him was so heavy that Zhu Yuan stopped talking further. If you push me too far, I will not hesitate to kill my own father, let alone my second uncle, Zhu Ming said, disdainfully. Sponsored content. Feng Ruqing is mine. I will not hesitate to kill anyone who lays his hand on her, including you. You, Zhu Yuan widened his eyes in shock. He could not believe what he had just heard. What was wrong with Zhu Yuan? He only wanted a peaceful Deity's Gate for everyone in the clan was like a big family. There was no room for conflict. Moreover, Zhu Ming was his biological son. He was just giving Zhu Ming a few words of advice. After all, he could not reprimand Zhu Yu. Enough. What do you want? The old master snarled as he glared at Zhu Ming. His subordinate has hurt Qing'er. Zhu Yu must make up to her by breaking one of his legs. Fortunately, Qing'er is safe. Otherwise, Zhu Yu must die. Don't you dare. The old master was burning with anger. No matter how much he loved Zhu Ming, Zhu Yu was the old master's biological son. How could he sit back and watch his grandson hurt his son? Boom. Zhu Ming paid no regard to the old master. In a flash, his arm had cleaved through Zhu Yu's foot. A heart-wrenching sound was heard. Initially, I wanted to take you to Xiao Qing'er, but I am afraid that you might be an eyesore to her. Forget about that. This kick is payback for hurting her. If someone hurts her again, whether or not they are your subordinates, I will come after you. Zhu Ming's cruel eyes were fixed on Zhu Yu, who was lying on the ground. Chapter 688. He did not have much affection for this family. Sponsored content. Therefore, the man in the violet robe had turned around and gradually disappeared under the hot sun after saying those things. Father. Zhu Yuan turned around and saw that the old master was sitting, seemingly paralyzed, in the chair. He hurried forward and held on to his body. He looked at him anxiously. Father, how are you feeling? Minga has really gone too far this time. Anyhow, the second brother is also his uncle. He always knew that Zhu Ming never listened to him, but he did not expect that he would hurt his loved ones. The old master knew about Zhu Ming being hunted down by Zhu Yu years ago. However, Zhu Yuan did not know that. He kept it hidden from Zhu Yuan and had warned Zhu Yu behind his back. There were many stories of brothers and relatives killing each other over the years. Only Deity's Gate had never had any internal conflicts. Sponsored content. The old master was so proud that he often bragged to other people about it. But little did he know. Zhu Ming, the vile spawn, had really broken Zhu Yu's leg. He was so furious that his chest hurt. Master, bad news. Master, a figure hurried in. The old master asked, weakly, what's the matter? Sponsored content. The manor master of Tianshan Manor has arrived. He said that the second elder's men have insulted his precious daughter. He has come to settle accounts with him. Everyone knew that Jiyusha's daughter, Jiyue, was as fat as a pig. Nonetheless, he still treated her like a baby. He was so afraid that she would get hurt or fall down. Who would dare to offend Jiyue in the reclusive world? Although the old master did not fear Jiyusha, he was intimidated by the unusual Jiyusha. If Jiyusha went crazy, he would desperately fight with anyone. He usually would not lose to Jiyusha in terms of fighting. However, if that guy was desperate enough, he would be half disabled or dead. Zhu Yu raised his pale face and gritted his teeth as he sensed the sharp glare from above his head. Impossible. How could my people insult Jiyue? Just as he finished his sentence, a familiar voice filled with anger came from outside the hall. Sponsored content. Zhu Yu, How dare you say your people didn't humiliate my baby girl? Whatever happened in Liu Yun Kingdom was easy to investigate. This was because Paramount also participated. Hence, he had sent someone to Paramount after Gue had told him about the matter. His man had bumped into Paramount's guardian, Fenglan, and learned the identity of the group of people. Deity's Gateway surely had the impudence to embarrass a little girl from the secular world despite the rules. I didn't. Ju Yu gnashed his teeth. Hee. Ji Yusha sneered. You went to Liu Yun Kingdom to hunt down a little girl, and my baby girl so happened to see you. My girl has always been kind and does not allow anyone to ignore the rules of the reclusive world. Thus, she wanted to help in resolving this matter. Who would have thought that, despite the fact that she had already mentioned my name, the group of people still dared to hurt her? The most intolerable thing was that those people dared to shame me. Ju Yu was startled and his face turned pale. Does Tian Shan Manor also know about his matter? And, those idiots had even provoked that fat girl, Gue. So, do you want to give me an explanation? Ji Yusha asked, coldly with one hand behind his back. The old master stood up, trembling. He was apparently irritated. Manor Master Ji Yu, those people didn't know that Gue was your daughter. Oh, Master Ju. What action should be taken against Ju Yu, who has offended the girl from the secular world? According to the rules, I am afraid that he must be punished. Chapter 689. This punishment was prescribed according to the degree of casualties. Sponsored content. If there were no casualties in the secular world, it would be enough to impose a light punishment. However, one must be sentenced to death if someone in the secular world had died. This was the rule set by Tian Ya. Of course, if the people in the secular world had provoked the others first, then the people from the reclusive world had the right to retaliate. However, the little girl did not do anything, and yet, Ju Yu had sent someone to kill her. Where did he gain the courage? Luckily, that girl did not die. Otherwise, Ju Yu could not have escaped. Everyone had vowed at that time that if they broke the rules of the reclusive world, they would have to die. Sponsored content. The old master closed his eyes and then opened them after a while. Come and put Ju Yu in prison. Father. Ju Yu opened his eyes, shocked. Father, I have broken a leg and you still want to hit me? There was a deep pain in the old master's eyes. It's fine even if the girl was from the reclusive world, but you have violated the rules. Back then, Tian Ya forced us to make the vow. If we do not punish the person who has violated the rules of the reclusive world, we might well be as good as dead. On Kangyu mainland, everyone believed in heaven and they dared not break their vows. Besides, it was a blood oath. I will send someone to supervise his sentence. Ji Yusha smiled with satisfaction. Sponsored content he could finally give an explanation to his daughter. Therefore, he stroked his sleeves and turned to leave. Visit on our VIP novel. Father. Ju Yuan frowned. Minga seems to be too obsessed with that girl. It doesn't seem to be a good thing. And, why didn't you prevent Minga from hurting second brother? If the old master did stop Minga, he definitely could not hurt his brother. Your son's temper is getting worse. The old master shook his head. If you want to stop him today, then you can only fight him until one of you dies. I can only hope that he has a conscience. After all, an internal war is forbidden in Deity's Gate. Otherwise, he would be ashamed whenever the three major forces meet up in the future. Sponsored content. As for that girl, the old master squinted. Just leave her alone for now. Ju Yuan was stunned. What the old master said was temporary. Did the old master also want to kill that girl? The old master hated internal conflicts in the clan the most. Ju Ming had treated his second brother in such a way because of that girl. Of course, the old master would be angry. He could not take action against Ju Ming merely because of that. Hence, he could only let the girl take the blame. But, Ju Yuan remained silent for a while. Second brother wants to own Paramount, not just for the spirit herbs. Even if he wanted the spirit herbs, he would not look into it like that. It is probably because of the herbal dishes. Zhu Ming had gotten some herbal dishes that could help the people greatly from somewhere else a year ago. Paramount's physicians stayed tight-lipped and did not want to disclose any recipe. Indeed, the old master's eyes narrowed into slits. Those herbal dishes are made with only ordinary materials, yet they have such great effects. What if they are replaced by the spirit herbs? If they were replaced by the spirit herbs, that effect would inevitably increase tenfold or even more. The person who developed the herbal recipes is a genius. Unfortunately, the genius may have come from a poor background and therefore only uses ordinary herbs to make the recipe. In this regard, Ming'er is not as good as your second brother. If it was your second brother, he would certainly give the genius an endless supply of spirit herbs until he or she develops an herbal dish. Chapter 690. After all, Ming'er was a little stingy. He had always been like that since he was a kid. Sponsored content. Yuana, you have to remember that Paramount has the spirit herbs that many covet. Therefore, Paramount should not be in an outsider's hand. The old master, as the master of Deity's Gate, was naturally not interested in Paramount, but the herbal dishes were too attractive. He should never let the outsiders know the prescriptions other than his family. Why do you think that Ming'er, who now has those herbal dishes, was not targeted by other people? Isn't it all our efforts? The old master rubbed his temples. There is nothing I can do now. Wait until your second brother has completely recovered. If he wants to, he may go get it with his own abilities. I won't care anymore. He had suppressed Juyu for Ming'er for many years, but now he wanted to give away things that belonged to Deity's Gate. This had violated his bottom line. It was a pity. He loved Zhu Ming the most. But it was also Zhu Ming who had bitterly disappointed him the most. Sponsored content. This, Zhu Yuan sighed softly. Father, give me some time. I'll go and persuade Ming'er. If it really doesn't work, only then, we will take action. Ming'er was still his son although he was not filial. So, he wanted to give him another chance. Since the day Hong Yu had heard that the people who came to assassinate Feng Ruqing were from Deity's Gate, her heart suddenly turned cold as if there was a crack in heart allowing cold air to seep in. Since then, she had plunged herself into cultivation and ignored everyone. She would just dazedly look at Feng Ruqing every day when she was not cultivating. Feng Ruqing, too, did not for a moment let her guard down because she understood that she would face stronger enemies in the future. Sponsored content. After all, the three major forces, the Divine Herbs Sect, Tianshan Manor, and Deity's Gate had all avenged her. If she did not work hard, she did not know when she would be assaulted by that group of people. Half a year went by so quickly, just like water slipping through the fingers. Among the mountains and forests was a girl, sitting cross-legged with her eyes slightly closed. She opened her eyes after a while. Those eyes were so beautiful they were as if the purest eyes in the world and were able to suck others' souls into them. Dark Warrior Tear. Throughout the period, she was not only cultivating, nor had her daily spirit herbs supply been cut off. In addition, she was surrounded by heavy spiritual qi. In just half a year, she had achieved Dark Warrior Tear. However, Feng Ruqing was still very dissatisfied with her current strength. Sponsored content. But she also understood that she could not be too greedy. Her breakthrough was too rapid, which would not be very beneficial to her cultivation. Apparently, you can directly drink the spirit water after achieving Dark Warrior Tear. Feng Ruqing glanced at the flowing spirit spring. She held down this thought for a moment. Forget it, I will drink it next time, but Hong Yu's strength should have improved. Feng Ruqing moved forward slowly and carefully took a drop of spirit water. Yes, only one drop. If too much of the spirit water was drunk at once, her body would inevitably explode. Similarly, if one drank the spirit water without achieving Dark Warrior Tear, his body would immediately blow up even though it was just a drop. Thus, she usually dared to put only one drop of the spirit water when the ape was making an herbal dish. If too much was used, she would not have survived until now. Mother! Qinghan rushed into Feng Ruqing's arms and raised her little pink face. Her eyes were filled with a bright smile. Her smile was as bright as the sun and it instantly warmed Feng Ruqing's heart. Qinghan, Where did you go just now? She asked while touching Qing Han's head. Qing Han grinned. I went to set a fire with Grandma Su Yi. Chapter 691. Set a fire? Sponsored content. Feng Ruking's fingers that were initially stroking Qing Han's head stiffened. She lowered her eyes and stared at the little girl in front of her. Where did you set the fire? At the Liu family. Feng Ruqing suddenly felt sorry for the Liu family. This was already the nth time. The Liu family might not be able to rebuild the manor again in this life. Qing Han, your Grandma Su Yi, was not that kind of person before. You better not mislead her. Su Yi was a fairy-like person. Setting a fire was only a behavior suited to Xiao Yin. She should never do this kind of thing. Come on, let's go to Paramount and get my spirit herbs back. In this half a year, Paramount should have earned a lot of spirit herbs from Gue's hands. Now that she had achieved Dark Warrior tier, it would take some time for the spirit herbs to grow. It just happened that Fu Chen and Qing Han needed some higher-graded spirit herbs. Sponsored content. Hence, she had only used the spirit herbal dish at that time to earn a grade 5 spirit herb from Gue. Just as Feng Ruqing walked into Paramount, she was stunned by the house that was filled to the brim with many things even though she was psychologically prepared. Zhu Ming stared at the girls gawking. He then grinned. I have kept those things that the girl has used to exchange with the herbal dish here. Xiao Qing'er, you may bring them back now, or, Feng Ruking's face darkened. She then stepped into the storeroom. In this room, there were dozens of boxes neatly arranged. There were 6 types of grade 6 spirit herbs in these boxes other than the grade 5 spirit herbs. But these were no longer able to stir up Feng Ruking's heart. Just because. There was a bed in front of these spirit herbs. Sponsored content. Next to the bed was a tree surrounded by many flowers. Furthermore, there were antique tea sets too. This room had everything. Did Gue move her whole house here? When Feng Ruking's eyes swept through the room, her gaze rested on a painting. The painting was a man whose appearance could not be seen clearly. The man's face seemed to be deliberately blurred. He stood atop the clouds and mists. He was dressed in white as if he was coming from the sky. There was a silver vertical streak between his eyebrows that did not suit his fairy-like aura. However, it was more like a deceiving spirit. His hair was half white and half black. Somehow, at this moment, Feng Ruking's heart seemed to ache. She could not help but reach out to stroke the man's white hair. Sponsored content. In the corner was a line of words. 9 cycles of lives looking for the world. There is no regret in the afterlife. The painting style was the 9th Emperor. The 9th Emperor. Feng Ruqing had heard Fu Chen mention this name several times. She had even encountered the 9th Emperor's residence by chance in the Forest of Spirit Beasts. But she did not expect to find the 9th Emperor's painting here again. Xiao Qing'er. Zhu Ming's placed his hand on Feng Ruking's shoulders. He looked deeply at the man in the painting. He then stared at the girl in front of him. What happened? Nothing. You're crying. I'm fine. Feng Ruking's fingers lightly rubbed the man on the painting and her eyes narrowed. I will take away this painting and the spirit herbs. As for other things, please help me return to Gue. She must get this painting by all possible means. Because she had felt something the moment she saw the painting. She even had a vision. As if she had been in the world for many years just to look for this one person in this vast world. Chapter 692. Is Qin Chen her younger brother? Too, she could not forget the pain. She could not give the painting up. Okay. Zhu Ming smiled. Little girl, do you remember? I told you before that your brother was in Tianshan Manor. Now my people have entered Tianshan Manor and discovered a secret. Tianshan Manor's Qin family brought a child back from the secular world 17 years ago. Feng Ruqing looked up and stared squarely at Zhu Ming. At this moment, her breath shallowed as she was filled with excitement, forgetting all the heartache and sorrow that she felt just now. Is he my brother? Zhu Ming grinned and touched Feng Ruking's head. The people of Tianshan Manor are arrogant. They will never let any outsider enter their family. However, that child was adopted by the Qin family's master. I am not sure whether he is your brother. He paused and continued. The news I got was that the child's biological parents had abandoned him. They had even nearly killed him. It was the Qin family who had passed by and had mercy on him. Thus, they had brought him back. Feng Ruqing's eyes were cold. Are these words said by the Qin family? Yes, it is said by the people of the Qin family. No one knows how true it is. Zhu Ming's eyes narrowed as he smiled. Nonetheless, Tianshan Manor is different from other forces. Tianshan Manor is a closed place. It does not have much contact with the outside world. It is extremely difficult to find out more about Tianshan Manor. However, 2 of your acquaintances were from Tianshan Manor, no? Feng Ruqing slowly turned her head. I won't let Suyi and Nanxian participate in this matter. Tianshan Manor is a nightmare for them. They had just woken up from the nightmare. There is no need for them to go in again. I won't let the 2 of them go back to Tianshan Manor again. Nanxian did not have much affection for Tianshan Manor. Even if that manor was once his nightmare, he had left when he was 4 years old. So, it would not have much influence on him. But Suyi could not. The Mu family had hurt her too deeply. She would not let Suyi go back to that kind of place just to get some information. Me for extra chapters. Zhu Ming laughed. I had expected you to do so you don't have to worry about it. I will do my best to help you. These are what I have found for now, but I don't understand why the Qin family has adopted a son. Feng Ruqing slightly narrowed her eyes. She did not understand it either. Why the Qin family adopted a child? If that child was really her brother, then he was forcibly removed from the palace. What was the purpose of doing so, and for what? Zhu Ming, help me find out why the Qin family adopted a child. And also, what's the child's name? Okay. I will continue the investigation. Zhu Ming smiled. But my men have already found out the child's name. His name is Qin Chen. Just as Feng Ruqing wanted to fill the spirit herb box that she had just picked up, her hands suddenly trembled after hearing Zhu Ming's words. The box slipped from her palms, falling to the ground as a muffled sound came out of her mouth. What did you just? What's the child's name? Her voice trembled uncontrollably and she stared closely at Zhu Ming. She was breathing heavily as she enunciated each and every word. Qin Chen. Qin Chen. These 2 words got Feng Ruqing's heart like a bunch of tangled threads. This name had also made her lose her composure. Her brain became blank and her face turned terribly pale. Chapter 693. Does your family treat you well? Sponsored content. Pretty well. Then I am relieved. Chenna, if your family doesn't treat you well, you can come back anytime you want. This is also your home. Don't worry, Xiaoqing. I used to have nothing, so I don't care about anything. Now, I have you. I will cherish myself. Qin Chen's words when he previously left replayed themselves like a broken record in her mind again and again. She chose not to ask Qin Chen regarding his family to respect him. As long as he lived well, that was enough. Sponsored content. She had always understood that they had relied on each other when they were in Huaxia. However, they both had their own families when they came to Kangyu mainland. How could she be selfish and keep him to herself forever? But now that someone had told her that Qin Chen was just the adopted son of the Qin family and that it was more likely that he was her biological brother, Xiaoqing, I'm not very sure about this. Give me some time, I will investigate everything and report to you. Believe me. Zhu Ming was very distressed seeing Feng Ruqing in this state. His hand involuntarily approached Feng Ruqing's waist as he wanted to try to pull her into his embrace. Suddenly, a bitter blast swept across the room. As Zhu Ming was paying attention to Feng Ruqing, he did not notice it. It was not until her leg kicked him that he gradually bent down, holding his lower abdomen tightly. His face turned red as he gnashed his teeth. Xiaoqing, you are a woman who repays kindness with enmity. Feng Ruqing was embarrassed. I didn't mean it. My body just reacts out of impulse, really. That was its own reaction. I couldn't control it. Sponsored content. Juming's face was as dark as the bottom of the pot. He just wanted to appease the little girl. But he was kicked before he could even touch her. If the kick was a little lower, that would have been the end of his family line. I didn't mean it. My body reacts impulsively whenever someone touches me. You must believe me. The corners of his lips twitched. Believe her. He believed that she was evil. Those girls come to greet you every time you come to Paramount. Why didn't you have such a natural reaction? This woman clearly intended to do it. Sponsored content. Oh, the girls are delicate and tender. How could I be so rude to them? Moreover, my body does not react like this toward them. It is beyond my control, Feng Ruqing said solemnly. Juming's face grew even darker. Can't be rude to girls. How many girls have you mistreated? Juming also understood that the women who had been mistreated by Feng Ruqing stewed in their own juices. Feng Ruqing was usually really gentle to the ordinary girls. Where is Nanxian? Why didn't you have such an uncontrollable reaction when he touched you? Juming was already determined to believe that she did it on purpose anyway. She really wanted his line to end. Feng Ruqing smiled. She was pleased and delighted. That's my state preceptor, how can you compare with him? I will accept it no matter how he touches me and I will not hit him. Juming was speechless. He could no longer feel the pain in his lower abdomen, but only a sudden sadness. Juming also knew that Feng Ruqing had recovered from the news just now just by watching her smile. He was quietly relieved. The kick was also worth it. Remember to return the things to GUE for me. I will take my leave now. Chapter 694. Feng Ruqing took everything and walked out of the storeroom. She waved to Juming with her back facing him and left without looking back. Sponsored content. Her face sank the moment she stepped out of Paramount. She then looked up and stared at the sky. Chenna. I'm going to find you. Regardless of the price. If you are well, then it's fine. I will bring never-ending chaos to Tianshan Manor if they hurt you even a little bit. Feng Ruqing exhaled slowly. She then turned around and walked down the street. Sponsored content. Suddenly, a strong wind came from not far away. Feng Ruqing raised her eyes and saw a fat girl who was about 130 pounds running quickly toward her. Feng Ruqing's head turned blank again. She immediately stretched out her leg and kicked the girl. Boom. The fat girl did not expect that and rolled over a few times on the floor before stopping. Tang Yin, who was behind the fat girl, was dumbfounded. She was relieved that she did not run to Feng Ruqing before her. She never had a chance to rush to her. That was why she had escaped the disaster this time. Who are you? Feng Ruqing looked down at the girl who had fallen to the ground and asked coldly. She would not mind the women that she was familiar with rushing toward her. However, if a stranger rushed toward her, she would definitely not let the people come close. Sponsored content. GUE was stunned. She stared blankly at Feng Ruqing. Did you forget me? Feng Ruqing had lost contact with the outside world for the past 6 months due to her cultivation. She rarely came out, but she often followed Xiao Yin to the princess manor. Feng Ruqing had never forgotten her even though she had never seen her. It had only been half a year, but Feng Ruqing had already forgotten her. Do I know you? Sponsored content. The girl's face was unfamiliar, and she made no impression at all. Moreover, there was only one fat person that she knew, which was GUE. Feng Ruqing suddenly recalled something. She saw GUE half a year ago. Now half a year had passed. GUE was definitely not the 250-pound fat girl anymore. Therefore, the girl in front of her now must be GUE. GUE. That 250-pound beauty. GUE stood up with a sense of grievance. I remembered you for so long, why did you forget me? Girl, can't you talk properly? Why do you call yourself a 250-pound beauty? The herbal dishes that you have provided me with are really effective. GUE smiled. I have lost a lot of weight in the last 6 months. My father will be surprised when I go home the next time. The current GUE was still a little fat. She still had chubby cheeks, but she was definitely looked better than before when she was around 250 pounds. "Oh, I remember that you came to look for someone. Have you found the person?" Feng Ruqing asked. After hearing her words, Gui said angrily, "Don't mention that scumbag." Xiao Yin was right. All the men in this world are bastards. It is better to find a woman to live with. Feng Ruqing's eyes slowly turned to Tang Yin. "What did you teach her?" Tang Yin pouted. "I'm not wrong. Yi's fiancé was too extreme. He is a total bastard. Yi did the right thing to ask him to break off the engagement. By the way, Yi, you still haven't told me your fiancé's name." Chapter 695. I don't want to talk about it. Gui did not want to care about it. It seemed that she would eat 10 pounds of pig's trotters because of her hatred toward that name. Sponsored content. So she looked at Feng Ruqing's face. She did not know why it was different. She hated beautiful people so much before, just like how she hated Qin Fei from the Qin family. But not anymore since she met Feng Ruqing. She realized that looking at beautiful people could be so satisfying. "I like it." Feng Ruqing was hesitant for a while. "Gui, it's better if you don't mingle with Tang Yin so much. So, you won't be influenced by her. By the way, the state preceptor told me that Tang Yin likes my cousin. So, I plan to hold a wedding for them after some time." Tang Yin's facial expression changed drastically. Sponsored content. That vixen Nanxian, he did it again. He has suggested his little ideas to Feng Ruqing again. "I don't want to get married yet. Xiao Yin," Feng Ruqing patted Tang Yin's shoulder. "Just relax and wait to be the young general's wife. Don't worry. If my cousin bullies you in the future, I will never keep quiet about it." She gave a meaningful smile when she finished talking. Then, she walked away from Tang Yin. Tang Yin froze like a stone in the wind. She recovered her senses when she realized that Feng Ruqing had left her sight. "Xiao Yin, am I still very fat?" Gui glanced at her own body. She gritted her teeth and said, "I won't eat any more of the pig's trotters starting from today. I want to slim down in the shortest time possible." Then, will she look at me more? Tang Yin was sad. "You can slim down. But what do I do about my small breasts? She won't give me any spirit herbs dishes to grow my breasts. Moreover, Suyi is very beautiful, isn't she? There are so many beautiful people in Paramount. But Xiao Qing has only eyes for that wild man." Gui subconsciously took out a pig's trotters. She brought it near her mouth and bit into it. Suddenly, she remembered the promise that she had made to herself just now. She immediately spat the meat out. Sponsored content. You're always talking about that wild man. Who is he? I have gone to the Princess Manor so many times and I have never met him. That wild man is a vixen. It's better if he doesn't show up. If he's there, we won't be able to enter the Princess Manor at all. Tang Yin sneered. That's why I have to ask you to be my comrade. Then, we can beat that wild man and successfully become Xiao Qing's women. That wild man is powerful. I cannot beat him alone. Hence, Tang Yin had spent half a year trying to influence Gui. Moreover, Gui adored Feng Ruqing at first. After Tang Yin's influence, they became comrades with the same mission in lives. I was just too naive before. That was why I had fought alone. There are so many of us now. We can now compete for her attention and love. Even that wild man will not be able to beat us. Tang Yin became prouder of herself when she thought about her plans. She was feeling great. She held her small face with both of her hands. It seemed that she was imagining the days when they could beat Nanxian at last. Sponsored content. Gui's eyes widened at that. Really? Will Xiao Qing accept us? All men are pigs. They are nothing compared to Xiao Qing. Moreover, Xiao Qing is both beautiful and gentle. She doesn't even dislike me because of my plumpness. She even cares about me so much. So, she's much better than those men. Faith moves mountains. I believe that we'll succeed one day. Tang Yin held out her hand. Gui clenched her hands. At that moment, They became comrades in an alliance. The name of their alliance was Beat the Vixen, Nanxian. Mu Ling, who was currently at Tianshan Manor, did not know that the fiancé he had found for Nanxian had betrayed his trust. He just knew that the manor master had asked somebody to deliver him the news. Ji Yue was unwilling to marry Nanxian. Chapter 696. We have agreed upon that. Why did she change her mind all of a sudden? Sponsored content, he had even made up a lie where Nanxian admired Ji Yue so that Ji Yue would agree to marry him. He did not even have time to persuade Nanxian to return to the Mu family and marry Ji Yue. Yet, Ji Yue had rejected that marriage herself. Go and look into it. Why did Ji Yue break off the engagement? It's impossible that Ji Yue would break off the engagement without any apparent reason. There must be something that I'm unaware of. The manor master did not even mention it to me. I've got nowhere to look into. Chen Qingyang took out a handkerchief gently and helped wipe away the sweat on Mu Ling's forehead. Her voice was gentle and soft. Brother Ling, what do you think? Do you think that Nanxian has done something? She has left the Tianshan Manor not long ago and she said that she wanted to go and look for Nanxian. Now, she wants to break off the engagement. Sponsored content. Mu Ling narrowed his eyes. He seemed cold and distant. It seems that I really need to meet with Nanxian. I'll ask him to go and meet with Ji Yue. Ji Yue is ugly and she will definitely fall for Nanxian if he approaches her on his own initiative. I'll definitely make it happen. The arranged marriage between the manor master's family and my family. I'll never give up. Chen Qingyang lowered her eyes and hid her soft smile. Ji Yue went and looked for Nanxian. It's impossible that she did not notice it. She must have found out about the truth that Nanxian has some other girl with him. She would feel humiliated, and that was probably the reason why she had broken off the engagement in the first place. In fact, how could Ji Yue allow such thing to happen to her given that she's quite arrogant? Sponsored content. In case Ji Yue becomes infuriated and kills that girl. That'll be much better. If that's the case, Nanxian would totally reach an impasse with her. He'll hate her for the rest of his life. Then, there's no more possibility of them having an arranged marriage. Chen Qingyang still appeared worried no matter what her inner thoughts were. Brother Ling, I think that there must be some misunderstanding. Ji Yue is just taking things the wrong way. When she could understand the situation better, she'll surely realize what a good man Nanxian is. Fine. Mu Ling's facial expression became much better. Sponsored content. Qingyang is different from the other women. The other ordinary women would only infuriate me more at such a moment. But Qingyang is always so considerate. Moreover, she defends Nanxian too. Qingyang, Mu Ling could not help but pull Chen Qingyang into his embrace. I treat Nanxian nicely because he's talented. The Mu family needs him. But the one I like the most is still Xia. Chen Qingyang put her finger on Mu Ling's lips. Brother Ling, you don't have to talk like that. Xiana is your son and for sure has my son too. I'm his stepmother. I'll surely wish the best for him his lifetime. Mu Ling hugged Chen Qingyang even tighter. Qingyang, the Mu family needs your guard and care. I need to leave for a while to go and meet up with Nanxian. If not, he won't ever listen if others talk to him instead of me. These past few years, Nanxian did not bother about him. Mu Ling asked the others to go and persuade him to return to the Mu family. But he never heeded it. However, Nanxian gave a message to Mu Yong the last time he asked Mu Yong to persuade Nanxian to return to the Mu family. Nanxian claimed that he would be waiting for Mu Ling in Liu Yun Kingdom. If that's the case, I need to go there myself. I hope that Nanxian will take the initiative to pursue Ji Yue for my sake. Now, the old man's sickness could not be hidden any longer. Nanxian was still quite young. It was almost impossible for Nanxian to achieve a higher tier in his cultivation even if he could progress very fast. So, the current Mu family needed Tianshan Manor's protection. Initially, I wanted Nanxian to marry Tang Yin. Tang Yin's body is special and her potential is not yet fully discovered yet. Well, ask the manor master to let Nanxian take Gue as his concubine when Nanxian is much stronger in the future. Chapter 697. It's a pity. Sponsored content. Tang Yin's rebellion has ruined my whole plan. We had no choice but to let Nanxian take Gue as his wife. As for Tang Yin, Mu Ling stared coldly into space. I've got a way to let her progress in the shortest time. It's a pity that she has made the wrong choice and she even lost the Mu family's protection. That girl won't live for long. That's her own decision and she needs to pay for that. Feng Ruqing was on her way back to the Princess Manor after she left Paramount. She saw a person who could not possibly be in the Princess Manor when she was home. She had never even thought of it. Sponsored content. Feng Ruqing's eyes were filled with shock. After a short while, she calmed herself down. She asked, Tang Yi, did you lose your way? Tang Zi is currently in the palace. Xiao Yin lives in General Manor now. Why did Tang Yi come to the Princess Manor? Tang Yi had a bitter smile when he faced Feng Ruqing. In the end, this girl still showed mercy to the Tang family. Both Tang Yu and Tang Luo deserved to die. But Feng Ruqing gave him the chance to rebuild the Tang family. She did not even kill Tang Sai and Tang Wu. Their lives were spared and they were simply banished to the savage world. Princess, I came here because I wanted to meet with you. Sponsored content. Tang Yi seemed helpless. Moreover, don't mention to Xiao Yin that I've been here. You came for me. Feng Ruqing frowned slightly. She did not have a bad impression of Tang Yi. Tang Yi stood by both her and Xiao Yin's side when Feng Ruqing went to the Tang family for her father. She was grateful toward Tang Yi. She just did not understand the reason why Tang Yi had come to meet her without Xiao Yin's knowledge. Sponsored content. You can speak frankly with me, Feng Ruqing told him as she relaxed a little. Tang Yi fixed his gaze on Feng Ruqing. What about your relationship with Xiao Yin? Feng Ruqing's guard was suddenly up. I like men. Tang Yi grew noticeably uncomfortable. I don't mean that. I just want to ask whether you'll leave Xiao Yin behind if you face any danger. Will you choose to leave her behind just like those people from the Tang family before? Feng Ruqing raised her eyes and glanced at Tang Yi. Xiao Yin has made her choice and it's very clear where I stand. Don't mention anything about future events. Even if she's really in danger, I'll protect her definitely. Even if the rest of the world stands against you. I came today because of the things related to Xiao Yin. Xiao Yin herself doesn't have a clue about these things. But I need to tell you. You have the right to know. I don't want you to be burdened by these things. If not, Xiao Yin will surely hate me for the rest of her life. Having the world against me. Feng Ruqing laughed out loud. Now, the three powerful forces of the mainland in the reclusive world were her enemies. It's no different from the world being against her. Firstly, I'm not scared of anything. If I were a coward, I would not create trouble wherever I go. Secondly, Feng Ruqing walked toward Tang Yi slowly. The Tang family is quite special to Xiao Yin. She has left the Tang family and everyone else behind for my sake. How could I ever leave her behind? She chose me over her family and relatives. How could I let her think that she's made a bad choice? I'll never leave her behind even if I'm going against the rest of the world or even heaven up above. Chapter 698. Tang Yi looked deeply into Feng Ruqing's eyes. Then, he smiled. Sponsored content. Tang Yin did have a much better taste than them in choosing her friend. You can now tell me about the things you have mentioned just now, she said, calmly. Feng Ruqing stopped walking and came to stand beside Tang Yi. She seemed serious and solemn. Tang Yi smiled bitterly. Xiao Yin is not a child of our Tang family. She was adopted by our second master back then. But Tang Luo himself did not even know about this. I'm the only one who's aware of this. Feng Ruqing was shocked. Tang Yin is not a child of the Tang family. Why did Tang Luo know nothing about that? Sponsored content. Tang Yi might have guessed the doubt in Feng Ruqing's mind. He smiled softly. The second master of our Tang family had left home for a few years. He brought Tang Yin back when he returned to us. So, no one in the family knows of Tang Yin's real identity. But, the second master told me everything before he died. Feng Ruqing pursed her lips and waited for Tang Yi to continue his story. She did not disrupt him. Tang Yi's capability is very powerful. Her strength would be feared by the whole world. Feng Ruqing narrowed her eyes. You mean? Tang Yi laughed bitterly. You could see for yourself that Tang Yin's physical strength is still very strong even if her current strength is weak. This is still under her control. So, her stepfather did not allow her to cultivate. He had even sealed her strength. Although that seal will not prohibit her from cultivating, it'll slow her speed in cultivation. Feng Ruqing knew from the day she met Tang Yin that Tang Yin had a strong physique just like a bull. But, her strength was weak. Sponsored content moreover. That girl was not ordinary given that she could kill a pig easily just by accidentally sitting on it. And Feng Ruqing's heart was heavy now. She continued to ask Tang Yi. Princess, I don't know Tang Yi's true identity. But, the second master told me that even if one seals her strength, that seal will naturally be broken one day. By then, no one would be able to stop her from growing anymore. Moreover, there will be many people who will come after her to kill her as long as she starts to grow. Tang Yi seemed helpless. There was a bitter smile on his face. Sponsored content. That was the reason why Tang Yi agreed to let her marry Nanxian in the first place. I just want to seek protection for her. Why? Feng Ruqing seemed calm but there was deep worry in her eyes. What's wrong with her growth? They need to kill her just because she's powerful. Tang Yi shook his head. Yina is different from the others. The second master had saved her from another person back then. At that time, that person was trying to kill Yina, trying to kill a helpless and innocent baby. What for? Feng Ruqing raised her eyes. She seemed calm and there was a captivating smile on her face. She was dazzling. Xiao Yin is not so different from us. Why can't she grow and cultivate? Why did they want to suppress her talent? It's unfair to her. Tang Yi almost choked on his own sobs. Princess, I need to tell you something beforehand. Yina, if she's really cultivating and growing stronger, she'll have the ability to destroy the whole world. It's her destiny the minute she was born. That's why a lot of people fear her very existence. The second master had no choice but to do what he did. Chapter 699. It's because Yina is a beastman. 1. Sponsored content. A beastman. Feng Ruqing froze right there and then. A beastman was the product of a human and a spirit beast. But, spirit beasts and humans were not of the same species. They rarely consummated. However, if they did have a child, the child would surely have all the talent and strength of both species. A beastman could be in the world as a human and no one would know the truth. Similarly, they have the power and long lifespan of the spirit beasts. Furthermore, they would have even inherited the advantages of both the human and spirit beast. The strength of beast men was potentially vastly powerful. It was the same case with a mixed-blood person. They were naturally much beautiful than ordinary people. It was the same with beast men. They were stronger than ordinary people. Sponsored content. She's not only a beastman but one of her parents is even a savage spirit beast. Savage spirit beasts were one type of spirit beasts. But, the ordinary spirit beasts would never take the initiative to attack humans. However, the savage spirit beasts were different. They were not only strong, but their natural instincts were savage and ferocious. They treated humans as food, especially those humans or spirit beasts who intrude their territories. They would all become the beastman's food. Hence, the mainland separated the savage spirit beasts from the ordinary spirit beasts in the past. But, Tang Yin's not related to the savage spirit beasts. What about that? That's right. What about that? Read more chapter on our VIP novel. Sponsored content. I don't care about Tang Yin's true identity. I just know that I'll never betray her. I understand what you have said. Don't worry. I'll never leave her behind. Tang Yi breathed a sigh of relief and could finally relax after looking at the girl's determined facial expression. He had gathered up all his courage just to come and tell Feng Ruching the truth. He did not want Tang Yin to be left behind at such a dangerous time. He also did not want to leave Feng Ruching unaware of the truth when they did face danger in the future. That was the reason why Feng Ruching had the right to know about the truth. The young girl's choice did not disappoint him. Princess, Yina is not strong now. The ordinary people will treat her just like any other human. But she will become very powerful when she breaks the seal one day. She'll have a lot of enemies then. Tang Yi paused before continued he talking. Furthermore, I've got no clue as to why Mu Ling from the Mu family would know about this. The people from the Tang family knew that Tang Yin was special because Tang Yi had mentioned it one time or another. They did not know the details. Sponsored content he had hidden Tang Yin in the Tang family these past few years. She was even prohibited from leaving the Tang family because he was afraid that her true identity would be discovered by someone else. He never thought that Tang Yin would leave the Tang family without his permission and had even met Feng Ruching. Mu Ling, Nanxian's father, has not supposed to have existed then. Did he agree to let Nanxian have an arranged marriage with the Tang family because he knows about Tang Yin's true identity? That's right. Tang Yi seemed serious now. The beast men are highly talented. Mu Ling is an ambitious man. Surely he wants Tang Yin close to him. I'm just worried that he'll most probably spread the news about Tang Yin's true identity given that Tang Yin will not become one of them now. Feng Ruching's heart grew heavier slowly. She gazed upon the bright blue sky. She was calm. I won't allow anyone to hurt Xiao Yin, the Mu family. They've done Nanxian and his mother too much harm. I don't hope for another strike from him. If not, Mu Ling will never be able to compensate for what he has done. Tang Yi wanted to say something but eventually, he did not manage to voice it out. After a short while, he said, Princess, I'll leave Yina with you. If you face any troubles in the future, I'll definitely come to help you even if I'm 1,000 miles away. Now, at least I still have my life even if I have nothing else. Chapter 700 Feng Ruching turned to Tang Yi. Would you like to go and visit Xiao Yin later? Sponsored content. Tang Yi laughed bitterly. There's no need for that. She's living happily now. I don't have to go and disrupt her life. Feng Ruching was quiet for a while. What about Tang Zi? Tang Yi was saddened when he heard that name. He lowered his eyes and guilt was written all over his face. He did not manage to protect Tang Zi that fateful year. She had suffered a lot because of that. There's no need for that too. Tang Yi sighed softly. Tang Zi will be quite happy with you. Why should I go and remind her of her pathetic past by appearing in front of her? Feng Ruching intended to persuade him at first. But she decided against it after looking at Tang Yi's grieving face. Sponsored content. In the end, she simply said, Tang Zi has never blamed you. Tang Yi was the only one who had protected Tang Zi in that cruel Tang family. But Tang Yi did not notice Tang Luo's wickedness and he had never thought that Tang Luo would carry out his evil plans secretly. So, Tang Zi had never blamed Tang Yi because of that. Tang Yi put his hands behind his back. He turned and faced the soft breeze. His hair was white but there was a soft smile on his aging face. Princess, the time is late now. I should be leaving. Don't mention to Yina that I've been here. Yina will surely leave and hide in a secluded place if ever she knows of the truth. That is her true nature. Sponsored content. Then, there'll be no one to help her if she attracts an endless stream of strong enemies. Tang Yi waved his sleeves and walked out of the manor when he finished talking. Soon, he was out of Feng Ruching's sight. Fu Chen. Feng Ruching lowered her eyes and called for Fu Chen when Tang Yi left. A soft breeze blew. Fu Chen's small body appeared in front of her. Are you aware of the fact that she's a beastman? She remembered several instances where Fu Chen met Tang Yin and he looked like there was something on his mind. Sponsored content. It seems that Fu Chen might know the truth. Fu Chen lowered his eyes. Yes. Then, why didn't you tell me before? Fu Chen was hesitant. I just thought that there's nothing wrong with beast men. I never realized that those people intended to kill her. Feng Ruqing heaved a sigh helplessly. She hugged Fu Chen. She patted his small head softly. Luckily Tang Yi came and told me everything today. If not, I'd been caught unprepared in the future. Then, Mother, will you still stay by Tang Yin's side? Read more chapter on our VIP novel. Yes. Feng Ruqing smiled slightly. Do you think that I'm a coward? Fu Chen shook his head. If Mother is a coward, she wouldn't have offended so many forces. Even though Mother is innocent. It's fine. I just need to cultivate harder from now on. Then, I'll be able to protect her. Feng Ruqing rubbed his head. What's wrong with being a beastman? I just want to see who's daring enough to harm her as long as I'm strong enough to be able to stand above everyone else in this world. At that moment, arrogance and pompousness were written all over the young girl's face. There was a bright smile on Fu Chen's soft and exquisite face. That's right. What's wrong with being a beastman? Even though the world rejects her, the world will still treat her like a god if she is strong enough to stand above everyone else. Chapter 701, Fu Chen. Feng Ruqing lowered her eyes. I took some spirit herbs from Paramount just now. Can the two of you still make a breakthrough after you have eaten them? Sponsored content. Fu Chen was excited. Mother, are those spirit herbs for us? Yes. Feng Ruqing smiled softly. She had decided since she knew that Nanxian's father came from the Mu family from Tianshan Manor. But she had yet to make a breakthrough to Dark Warrior tier. She was still unable to grow grade 5 spirit herbs. Moreover, Gue had appeared in front of her. Gue's strength was not powerful. She was similar to the Feng Ruqing before. She was quite obese and it was difficult for her to cultivate with ease. Sponsored content. But the girl who hung around Gue was a spirit warrior. That girl did not dare to disobey Gue although she was dissatisfied with her. The girl was only brave enough to secretly harm her. Thus, Feng Ruqing could guess that Gue came from the reclusive world. She might possess some grade 5 spirit herbs given that she came from the reclusive world. Hence, she did not lose the opportunity to exchange some high-grade spirit herbs with her using spirit herbs dishes. She just never thought that Gue came from a more powerful family. Gue was even able to obtain some grade 6 spirit herbs. Then, Feng Ruqing was able to feed Fu Chen and Qing Han. Mother, it's enough. But Fu Chen's eyes darkened. We'll be sleeping soundly after we're full. Mother, are you fine with being alone? Feng Ruqing pinched Fu Chen's small face. It's fine as long as your strength is improved. I'll wait until you wake up. After that, we might be going to Tianshan Manor. Sponsored content. Fu Chen gazed at the beautiful face in front of him. Mother, have you decided to go to Tianshan Manor? I should know about this earlier. Mother has made her decision since she left Paramount. Feng Ruqing did not answer his question. She turned to look, calmly, in the distance ahead of her. That was where Qin Chen lived when he was still staying at the Princess Manor. She touched her chest softly. There was a soft smile on her face. He might be my younger brother. Do you know what that means? Sponsored content. It means, if that's the case, the Qin family is lying to you. Why did they lie? Why did they steal your younger brother? She needed to find out the truth about one thing. Is Qin Chen my younger brother? Fu Chen, he used to be the one who protects me all the time. Now, I'll protect him as his elder sister. He was the one who protected her when they were still at Huaxia. Since we meet again in this life, I'll never let anyone harm him again. Mother, Fu Chen held Feng Ruqing's hand. I'll be by your side no matter what decision you make. Fine. Feng Ruqing smiled. By the way, what about that big grey doggy? Fu Chen was in doubt. Mother, are you talking about Big Black? It has almost recovered. It just needs more time to recover on its own. I came back before because of that. Oh, then I'm relieved. Fu Chen, Just go back and finish up the spirit herbs in the medium. You don't have to come out here again. You must improve your strength faster. Her eyes darkened. The enemies whom she would face in the future would be stronger. So, not only her but the people around her needed to improve their strength faster. Chapter 702. It's not only for Tang Yin's sake but also for Nanxian and Suyi's. Sponsored content at General Manor. Master Nalan was playing chess with Qin Feiyang. They had not been able to fully enjoy it yet when a servant rushed toward them. Old General, Her Highness is here. Qing'er is here. Nalan, who stood up, excitedly. He did not manage to even move yet when he saw two figures rushing toward the entrance of the manor quickly. Xiao Qing. Tang Yin smiled brightly. She threw herself into Feng Ruqing's embrace. Sponsored content. Feng Ruqing did not push her away like how she used to do. On the other hand, she patted Tang Yin's back gently. Xiao Qing, why are you here? Tang Yin saw the change in Feng Ruqing. She was happy and she could not suppress her excitement. I came to visit my grandfather. Feng Ruqing glanced at Tang Yin, who was as short as a petite carrot. Then, she glanced at Gue. Gue's face was still plump. But, it was much better than before. She was only plump now. She seems rather cute like this. You can return to your place now after a month, Feng Ruqing said as she smiled. Sponsored content. Gue was shocked. She was unwilling to return home at that moment. She wanted to stay in Liu Yun Kingdom forever. Moreover, no one laughed or sneered at her when she was obese. Everyone was so nice and friendly here. Tianshan Manor would never have treated her like that. Grandfather. Feng Ruqing did not know about Gue's thoughts surely. She saw that Nalan who was moving toward her. Her eyes brightened and she walked toward her grandfather. Qing'er, how come you're free to visit me today? Nalan who laughed out loud. That laughter was pleasant. By the way, your father and mother have been away for quite some time now. Have they found my grandson whom we have lost for so long? Feng Ruqing suddenly stopped walking. She gazed at Master Nalan's smiling face. She smiled slightly. It'll be soon, that's right. The day when he will reunite with us is approaching. Sponsored content. Grandfather, I have brewed some spirit wine in the Princess Manor. If you lack spirit wine in the future, you can go to my manor directly. Nalan who glanced at Feng Ruqing suspiciously. Qing'er, why do I feel like you're acting weird recently? I'm fine. Just that I need to go somewhere soon. Don't tell anybody of this, especially my uncle. Grandfather told me before that my uncle could not keep any secret. If he knows of something, it means that the rest of the world would know. You, Nalan who was nervous. He grabbed onto Feng Ruqing's hand anxiously. Do you know where your younger brother is? I'm not sure. I just need to go and validate it. So, I don't want many people to know about that. If, has not my younger brother, then, my father and mother will be so disappointed if they hear about it. Fine. Nalan who was excited. I don't care whether it's real or fake news as long as there's hope for us. Don't worry. I'll never tell a soul, especially Nalan Zhongqian. By the way, where's Aunt and Daya? Feng Ruqing raised her eyebrows and asked. They went to the Qin family. Nalan who did not manage to finish his sentence when suddenly a figure came rushing toward them from outside the manor. He rushed toward Qing Feiyang. He almost burst into tears from anxiety. Master, something is wrong. Young lady has fainted. Chapter 703. What? Sponsored content. Qin Feiyang's facial expression changed then. He grabbed the servant's clothes and scolded angrily. What's wrong with Pinyao? Young lady, fainted. The young manor master is going to kill somebody. Master, hurry up and return to the manor. The servant was almost crying from anxiety. Qin Feiyang was no better than that. Qin Feitang had always treated Wei Pinyao like his daughter since the day she was married to his son. So, his aging face paled the minute he received that news. He did not bother about Nalan who and quickly rushed out of general manner. Chinga, go and take a look at that girl from the Wei family for me. Nalan who was rather worried. Okay. Sponsored content. Feng Ruqing turned calmly and rushed in the direction where Qin Feiyang was headed just now. At Qin Manor. Some crying voices were heard. Feng Ruqing saw a woman kneeling in front of Qin Zun when she reached there. Her eyes were filled with deep anger and hatred. She seemed wicked and was staring at the backyard. Qin Zun was holding a sword in his hand. His handsome face was filled with deep anger and frustration. If Qin Yi had not stopped him, the sword in Qin Zun's hand would have long been stabbed into the person in front of him. Sponsored content. Sister, don't stop me. I'll kill this woman today to avenge Pinyao. Zuna. Qin Yi frowned slightly. She looked down, coldly, at the woman who kneeled before them. Her stare was cold and distant. Wei Mengjie, how dare you come back here? Quickly tell me now. Who has given you the poison in your hand? Wei Mengjie had a sardonic smile on her face. She got up from the ground and seemed arrogant. Were the little ladies of the Wei family. Why is Wei Pinyao able to enjoy all the wealth and happiness while I'm expelled from the Wei family? Wei Pinyao did not even let me go when I left the Wei family. She has even ordered someone to humiliate me and beat me up. Luckily, I've got my chance at last. I was denied the best. Therefore, I won't let her enjoy her life either. Wei Mengjie. Qin Yi's facial expression worsened. Wei Pinyao was not the one who did that to you. Both of my fathers did that. Why are you taking your revenge on her? If I had known better, I'd never have shown mercy to her for old Master Wei's sake. I should have killed her. I don't care. Wei Mengjie laughed rather arrogantly. There's a way to save her if you want to. Ask Qin Zun to marry me, then I'll give you the antidote. Someone else gave me the poison. Sponsored content. There's no antidote. Life is so miserable for me. Why is Wei Pinyao allowed to live happily? I want to stand between Qin Zun and her. I'll never let her have her way this lifetime. Impossible. An angry voice came from behind them before Qin Zun and Qin Yi could say anything. Wei Mengjie turned and saw Qin Feiyang's angry face. He walked toward them slowly. I only want a daughter-in-law and that's Pinyao. You're such an evil villain. You don't deserve to be our daughter-in-law. Wei Mengjie's facial expression changed. She said angrily, why? Am I any less than Wei Pinyao? For what? Why is everyone treating me like that? Wei Pinyao is just an infertile woman. How she can have everything? Anyway, I'll bear a son for Qin Zun when I'm married to him. Wei Pinyao will be dead by then. Then, I'll surely become the young lady of the Qin family. Princess, Qin Feiyang wanted to say something. He turned and looked at Feng Ruqing. Please help us. You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.